Today on the official Universal Orlando blog, the twisted minds behind Universal's Halloween Horror Nights have unleashed new details about the terrifying original content coming to this year's event. Now all but one house has been revealed, including scare zones and shows, so let's get caught up on all the details, shall we? Check out our thoughts in this video and the article at iomgeek.com. First up is a mystery house rumored to be based on a popular horror television series. I'll make sure to update the article on iomgeek.com when it's been confirmed. Lunatic's Playground 3D, You Won't Stand a Chance. While Jack's away, Chance has unleashed the horrors of her imagination. Her twisted delusions and reality are continuously blurred in a 3D playground of carnage. When the music box plays, the world shifts to her sinister theater of the mind, but when the alarm starts ringing, Chance is thrown back into the brutal reality of her incarceration. I'm of two minds on this announcement. HHN making Chance this year's icon is one of the big selling points of HHN26 for me. On the flip side, I'm not the biggest fan of 3D houses. While I'm certainly seeing them done well, and done well by Universal Creative, I rarely find them actually scary. Also, the Shrek queue that they used for last year's Asylum in Wonderland 3D house was a little awkward, and I'm assuming this will likely be in the same place. Still, this house being themed to Chance, and given the asylum setting likely to have some fun Easter eggs, still has me excited for it. When lightning strikes, the curse of Lightning Gulch comes to life and this ghostly town appears. These doomed souls, who once went searching for gold, found death and destruction, and now they seek others to join them. As thunder cracks, flashes of lightning will lead your way through the treacherous Wild West nightmare. Good luck. This sounds like a real passion house for the creative team from the blog link posted. And I've always been a fan of mixing horror and westerns, so I'm really excited for this one. They've already released a number of photos from the house. So far they're pretty far along with it, and it's looking darn good. Tomb of the Ancients. An ancient evil has surfaced and immortal beings from the past have returned to rule mankind. It was only a matter of time until the ancient ones were unearthed. Now these makers of chaos are loose from the pits of hell and the whole world will pay. This seems like it'll combine multiple mythologies, Asian, European, and Egyptian, into one storyline. There's been rumors of something Lovecraftian as part of the house as well, but no mention in the announcement. Regardless, this sounds like a well-researched house, so hopefully the presentation is in such a way that we'll get to appreciate all of that effort. Krampus. Based on last year's surprise box office hit, I remember watching Krampus in theaters and thinking, wow, this would make a great HHN house. Looks like they agreed with me. Last year, Scare House in Pittsburgh put on a Krampus-themed haunt that seemed pretty great. I'm sure some of that material made the transition here, as both involved participation from the director of the film. I'm not the biggest fan of the movie, but I do think visually it lends itself extremely well to being a standout house this year. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre done twice now at Halloween Horror Nights. Once in 2003's All Night Die-In, and again in its own house at HHN17, and both times I've enjoyed their take on it. HHN17 was more influenced by the remake though. You can't really go wrong with Leatherface and tons of chainsaws, so while I've seen this done before, I do think it'll be a good house. Halloween. Hell Comes to Haddonfield. If this is genuinely based on the pretty bad Halloween 2, it seems to be, looking at the hospital in the background of promotional pictures, then let's hope it makes a better house than a movie. I enjoyed the previous Halloween house, as a huge fan of Michael Myers. He's my favorite slasher. I just am not entirely sure what's left to be done with him in a haunt that I haven't already seen before. Still, it's Michael Myers, and it doesn't get any more Halloween than that. The Exorcist. Yeah, I don't know about this one. The Exorcist is the scariest movie I've ever seen, but I think it translates well enough to a haunted house experience. Maybe if this was one of those interacting haunts where you stay in one room the whole time, but as a walkthrough, I think it's an odd choice. Not much there visually to use either, so I'm curious how they'll pull this one off. The Walking Dead. While I'm sure many people would be happy to see The Walking Dead not return at Halloween Horror Nights, it's consistently popular for them, and, well, the highest rated show on television, so they'd be silly not to bring it back. But I'm on the side of meh when it comes to bringing it back to HHN. 5 scare zones were announced for Halloween Horror Nights: Survive or Die, Banshee's Lair, Dead Man's Wharf, Vamp 1955, and A Chance in Hell. I love that we're getting all original content in the scare zones this year, and particularly psyched for one of them to be themed to the icon, Chance. Dead Man's Wharf looks like it'll have some interesting visual aspect based on the concept art, Banshee's Lair looks to speak right to my heart with a strong Celtic Halloween vibe. 2 new shows were announced for this year's Halloween Horror Nights event. The Academy of Villains' House of Fear. Join this high-energy performance troupe of inmates in an explosion of insanity that will thrust you into a realm of mayhem and maniacal terror featuring dance and specialty acts. The show must go on. And of course, Bill and Ted's Halloween Adventure. Bill and Ted is a Halloween Horror Nights tradition. Some years are more successful than others, but I can't imagine Halloween Horror Nights without it. As for the Academy of Villains, not much information has been revealed about the show. Academy of Villains is a horror-infused troupe based in California, but is Chance going to be in this show? Some final tips. Halloween Horror Nights runs select dates from September 16th through October 31st. Buy your tickets at HalloweenHorrorNights.com. If you're going to go more than one night in the first 3 weeks, the Rush of Fear Pass seems to be the way to go. It'll pay for itself if you go twice. Get an express pass or plan to go multiple times. There's legitimately no way to get through all 9 houses, 2 shows, and all the scare zones in one night given lines. Maybe on a slow night, but even then, Halloween Horror Night doesn't have many of those. Be a good guest. Don't yell. Don't touch the actors. Don't use your cell phone flashlights. Don't climb on things. Don't drink too much. Don't take flash photography. It's really not going to help your pictures with all that fake fog. They say the first and last Bill and Ted shows of the night are the least crowded. I've never gone to either one of those, so not sure on that one. We are going to be at Halloween Horror Nights opening weekend. Let us know if you'll be there in the comments below, and make sure to say hi. And for all of our Halloween Horror Nights coverage, check out the Halloween section of IOMgeek.com.